Hi, and welcome to Invertebrates. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that's quite crucial to a lot of exotic invert keepers, and that is how to pack safely and properly a tarantula or any other bug. So I'll mainly go through a full packing of some Psyttala horrida, the Horrid King Assassin Bug. So I'll go through all of that step by step, and I'll also show you me unpacking some tarantulas that I got, and just showing you different ways you can actually unpack tarantulas, and also, again, other bugs. So keep watching. All right, so number one thing you have to consider when you're gonna ship an animal or send them, however you have to pack them to transport them from one place to another, it's their safety. Their safety and minimizing their stress. So that's why it is very necessary to know how to do this properly, because of course you don't want your animal to die or get injured or be stressed more than necessary, because of course it's going to be a stressful process no matter what. Another thing you have to really be careful about, and especially if you're shipping your animal, is of course that they might escape. You cannot have these animals escape. Imagine what would happen if you had, say you sent a massive tarantula and it crawled out of a package inside of the UPS truck or whatever. So the first thing you got to think about is the container. Of course, you're going to put your animal or animals in a container, and the size of that container is obviously based off of how big your animal or animals are, and also a little bit species dependent. Of course, tarantulas and most spiders, depending, some spiders might not be so happy, but most tarantulas would love a very tight space. So even though it might look cruel to pack a tarantula in a very confined space, this is actually a great thing for them just because they feel safe. So that's, again, minimizing their stress. You will also need moist paper towels, soft ones preferably. So there are some pretty cheap ones out there that are not ideal, the kind of sandpapery ones. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Either way, you need those soft paper towels, of course, for cushioning your animal or animals. And those should be damp, and the reason they are damp is because you don't want your animals to dry out. And it can get very dry when they're getting shipped. So just to make sure they're not drying out, these should be damp. Not soaked, but damp. So for this step-by-step process, I am packing a whole bunch of Psyttala horrida. And first and foremost, I actually made sure they were all well fed. So I actually caught them all and put them in a different container to make sure they all fed, because in their vivarium it wasn't that easy to make sure that they were fed, because I had there's just so many in there. I didn't know exactly who had eaten last, and it's just safer. If they're well fed, that's good. Feeding in a different container might be good. For a tarantula, might be stressed out and not eat. So maybe a tarantula you should feed in their actual vivarium before you take them out and transport them. And as you can see in the video, I try to keep, for these assassin bug, I try to keep kind of a lid. I have a soft paper towel on the bottom, and I kind of make a lid for them. And that's just basically to keep it more confined. Assassin bugs as well do like smaller confined spaces. In this shipment, I sent more than one assassin bug, so I didn't want to cramp them too much, but I just kind of placed it on top, and just to make it dark, and then they feel more safe. It's like a little burrow for them, a little cave. So that's the thing to remember. So after your bugs are snugly packed into their container, then you can place that container into a separate shipping box, and that one should be padded on the inside. This one, as you can tell, is padded by styrofoam, and that's also because it's a great insulator, so it keeps it warmer. And I also added a heat pack for a safe measure. Of course, in the summer, midsummer, depending on where you live. This kind of all depends on where you live, but if you're not sure if it's gonna get too cold, it might get too cold. If it's below freezing, that's definitely too cold. I wouldn't recommend actually sending any animal, if it's gonna be below freezing. But if you do in colder temperatures, definitely add a heat pack, and that styrofoam for insulation is definitely a really good thing. And that keeps your animals nice and warm. And of course you got the damp paper towels, they're happy, they're fed, everything's all good. Of course, seal that box. The shipping container needs to be sealed well, make sure you can't open it. And yeah, I guess then your bugs are ready for a smooth ride. So hopefully that was useful. Alright, well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed creeping on those crawlies yet again, and I really hope this video was informational. Maybe you learned something, maybe you have a different way of doing it. I would love to hear what you guys think. If you have a different experience, if you have other tips. People do it very different ways. I do it my way. I've seen so many different ways of people packing. Principles are usually the same, but just like different versions of that, which is always fun to see. And if you want to check out some more bug content, I got an Instagram, so I'll put the link in the description. You see it here on the screen, like there. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.